Alright, so I'm going to demo problem number 6 from ISO set round 2. So that's this object. It's fairly complex in that you've got a cylinder on one side and then you have this curved and inclined tongue that sticks off of the other. And it's not at the top or the bottom, it's centered. So here's how I go about doing this. I'm going to start with the construction box based on the overall size. So from the front view and the top view combined, we can kind of gather that total size. The height is 4 blocks at its largest point, and then the total width, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10 wide, 4 tall, and 6 deep. So that's the box I'm going to make. So if that's going to be my reference point, we'll label that point A. I can then come over here and I can pick a similar reference point, and I can call that point A. So from there I'm going to go, we said that was 10 wide, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. We had 6 deep. And then we had 4 tall. So just frame in the box. Keep in mind this is all construction, so most of this will get erased when it's done. Oh, looks like I'm off a block. Alright, so there's my construction box. From here, I'm going to start with the largest part, which is the cylinder on the right. So we can see that it is a 3-block radius, 6-block diameter. So my goal is to locate the quadrant points and then draw on the arcs. So I know that it's going to be tangent at the center. So here's my back edge. At the top, there's my center point. So from here I can come in 1, 2, 3. There's the center of the circle. 1, 2, 3. There's a quadrant. 1, 2, 3. There's a quadrant. 1, 2, 3, and there's my 4th quadrant. Okay, so from those points I can sketch in the arcs. So in the acute corner I'm going to have smaller arcs. And then in the obtuse corners, we're going to have the larger arcs. So there's the top of the outer cylinder. From there, we have in 1 block from each quadrant to locate that hole that goes through the middle. So I can come in a block, put a dot, come in a block, put a dot, come in a block, put a dot, come in a block, and put a dot. Okay, so I can draw this one now. Now the only thing I'm going to watch out on here is there's a keyway. So I'm going to wait to do this quadrant. At least I won't draw all of the circle in, or I can draw it lightly to begin with. So if I do part of that, start by bringing that one in, but maybe not quite finishing it. Okay, so the arcs are going to come in until we've got about a half a block in either direction from that quadrant. So when we look at the keyway, it goes about a half a block, maybe even a little less than that, but I'm going to say it's a half a block in, and then so I want those points, and then my arcs are going to go up until it hits that. From there I can come back a half a block, and then I can frame that out. And I'll see a little chunk of a line right there. So there's my keyway and then the hole through the top. To get the bottom of the cylinder, you never want to try to do the side lines of the cylinder first. You always want to get the bottom of the arcs. So the bottom of this main cylinder is exactly the same shape and size as the top one. So you can reframe this out if you want down here, or the shortcut is to just follow the existing quadrants straight down in the direction we're going, and however tall the cylinder is. So this quadrant, 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's that same point. This one in the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's that point. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's that point. So now I can draw in, I want to be careful not to draw all of it. So basically I want to draw from here, I want to see where I'm going, but I really want to stop right about when I'm going to be in straight line with where the top one was. So that's all I'm going to draw of that back arc. In the front one, I'm going to see a little bit more of it, but that tongue is going to be kind of in the way. So I'm just going to do it in regular pencil first, so that that's easier to erase once I have that. So here's the other point. So there's the shape of the cylinder. I'm going to do it in red after I know for sure that what I can see and what I can't see. On the back side though, that one's done, so I'm just going to take a straight edge. I'm going to make the connection. So you just bring up the straight edge tangent to the isometric grid so that it would touch both circles. And that's how you figure out where the edge of the cylinder is. Otherwise, if you try to, some people will make this look kind of like a flat tire and it'll squish out. So that's more the shape that we want to get. So now the hard part on this one is locating this sort of inclined tongue area. So if we look at it, we can see that it becomes tangent to the cylinder almost at the quadrant point. So we're going to use that as our reference. Otherwise, we want to locate this point. We want to frame out the box. So what I'll do is first I'm going to locate, here's our quadrant. I'm going to come down 1 and I'm going to come up 1. So those are going to be the points of my frame. So what I want to do here is I want to create this frame of the box. So I'm going to create, it's 6 deep, and I'm just going to take it up to the quadrant. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide from the quadrant. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then that lands us right on our initial face of the box. So from there I go up 2, so I can frame that out to help me build. Same thing from back here. I'm going to take that back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and frame that out. Now if the other lines are in your way and you have too much construction, you can't see what's going on, you can erase a lot of that. So I don't need this any longer. I don't need this any longer. And I can get rid of that. Get rid of all of that. So here is that portion, and I can get rid of the bottom chunk down here. Alright, so now that I have just that sort of tongue area framed out, now I need to locate some points that matter. Alright, so I need to locate this point, that, the center, and those. So that's what I want to find next. So I know I'm counting the quadrant as our point of intersection. It may be just a little bit further in, but that's our easiest way to build it on here. So from there, I need to locate this point next. So we know that's going to be in the center of the top of that construction I made. So it's going to be that point right there. From here, it goes in 1.5 to the center. So 1.5. That's going to be the center point of both the hole as well as that outer arc. So then I can go 1.5 this way. There's a quadrant. 1.5 this way. There's a quadrant. So there are my 3. So now I can draw in that portion. From here, I know it's going to go 1/2 in each direction. And I can draw in each of those arcs. Okay, otherwise, from that point, it's tangent to our quadrants. Now, the tricky thing is, it may not have gone all the way to that quadrant point, but I drew it to help me see it, and then any extra you can just erase. So right about there, it's going to be that shape. Now, it wouldn't really have that little bit of a dimple. It would be more tangent, so we can clean that up a little bit. So this one, it's going to go back to a hidden spot that I can't quite see, but I still use that to line it up. And then I just draw it until it hits the main cylinder. So right about there. Okay. Now, we have to recreate this one block down. So I'm going to just follow that quadrant one down. It's going to be there. I'm going to take this quadrant, follow it one down. That's going to be there. And I can do the same here, which it's already there. So now I'm just going to draw that same shape as though it was going to go back here, but eventually it's just going to disappear. Right about until there. And that's just going to come straight down. For this one, that's going to actually come around to connect. Right about to there. Now we get the bottom shape the same way. So I'm going to follow this quadrant down 2. I'm going to follow this one down 2. That one down 2. And I can start to draw the arcs. So I'm not really going to draw from here, but I'm going to pretend I'm drawing until right about there. And then I'm going to draw that shape in. And bring that one around to there. And back. There's a vertical. And that's how you create an isometric view of something circular based. So anything with cylinders, you can create it in that sense. If you choose to do tonal shading, you certainly can. With circular objects, it tends to be more of a fade. In this case, I'm not going to tonal shade it, but I might show a couple of lines just going through the back of the cylinder, kind of really light, just to show that it's going down through. I can do the same thing on there. Nothing drastic, just something to show that it's going through the hole. Alright,